Now, in the inaugural edition of the Singapore National Games, we had 10 sports that were competed, and this time we're adding another 2. Right? So we've expanded the Singapore National Games, and I think this is something that we will do with each successive edition as we build up the National Games. And I'm very pleased to announce that for this edition of the Singapore National Games, we will be including hockey fives. So we welcome our partners from the Singapore Hockey Federation, as well as volleyball. You know, this will be the 2nd edition of the Singapore National Games, and for this year, it will be held from the 1st to the 9th of November. Competitions to be conducted across ActiveSG sports centres, as well as at the OCBC Arena and OCBC Aquatic Centre here at the Singapore Sports Hub. In total, we hope to be able to attract about 9,000 athletes to take part in the 2nd edition of the Singapore National Games. Now, in the very first edition that we held, many of you are aware that the Singapore National Games was held in conjunction with the Community Games, right? And what was applied in the Community Games was an all-care concept, where the Community Games then became the qualifying rounds for the finals, which was held in the first SNG. Now, after the first SNG, there was a review that was done, taking in feedback from the different participants and the different team leaders, and it was felt then that there needed to be a stronger distinction between the Community Games and the Singapore National Games. So for the 2nd edition of the Singapore National Games, we will be departing away from the all-care concept that continues to be part of our Singapore Community Games. The National Games will become a more competitive tournament. Has a focus of trying to attract athletes from all walks of life, both elite athletes as well as those who compete on a more community level of play. But the message is very clear. We want the Singapore National Games to be a competition where aspiring athletes of all abilities will come forward and say, I want to come and compete the best I can with the best team that I can form. And so for this multi-sport event, we are making sure that we will allow that to happen by creating 2 divisions based on skill levels, Division A and Division B. And we would expect that cadred athletes, professional athletes, and aspiring athletes who want to test themselves with the best in Singapore will take part in the Division A competitions. And those who feel that they are not quite up to the mark, they will participate in Division B.
As shared by CEO, the key idea is actually to depart from the all-care concept and to allow larger participation. The 3 key objectives are really to allow Singaporeans to compete at the national level with multi-game sport at one go this year. Secondly, to allow us to reach out to communities, aspiring athletes to take part. Last but not least, also to create another pathway for school kids to continue their competitions through the SNG. The details that we like to share essentially are the 3 key areas: the venues, which will include sport hub, aquatic center, and of course the OCBC arena. The other one will be all the ActiveSG sporting centers that allows the preliminary rounds to be played. Some of the preliminary rounds also will be played at the sport hub itself. Second one, of course, the 12 games, sports that will be involved. There's actually seen here. The last one will be actually the criteria. The criteria is shared by CEO, Mr. Lim. We will be actually creating a division for the cadre athletes, professional athletes, and aspiring athletes in Division A, and also Division B for those who just want to have competitive sports, but at a more less competitive manner, and also the school division.
Thank you, CEO, and thank you for joining us this afternoon.